Hey guys, in this video I'm gonna show you how I use Python to collect a list of stock symbols, and then use those in my trading bot to iterate through. And you can do the same thing if you use a stocks trading bot. So have Python opened here. First, let me go ahead and show you what I'm working with. So this is a Windows 10 machine running 1909, and as far as Python is concerned, I am running what is it, Python dash version. I'm running Python version 3.8.2. Cool. Alright, so let me open up a web browser here first and foremost. And I typically use a website called gurufocus.com. You can sign up for an account with them, but typically the information that I need is here. If you navigate to their home tab and you go to complete stock list, and I mean, you could probably do this with a lot of other different websites, but I just found this one that I like. So here under the complete stock list, you can show all countries here and uncheck everything except for the USA. So uncheck Africa, India. All right, and then under USA, you'll leave checked NAS, NYSE, and Amex, and click finish there. Then I will go down here to how many items I want it to show per page, and I'll just do 100. And that gives me close to about 7,000 symbols. I will sort these from lowest to highest, and there I go. So then what I'll do is I'll scroll down to the bottom, and I will just select all of these up to right before the symbol, and I'll just copy that. And now I have a Microsoft Office CSV file here. It's a template that I typically use. I only have a heading that lists the symbol, and in that second cell in A2, I will just Control V. Actually, take that back. I will right click and do paste special and do text. Perfect. So that gives that will then paste in all the symbols, and then I'll just go through and I'll just delete all the other columns here. But so it gave me the first 100, and then I'll just typically go through, go back to my web browser here, and I'll just go to page 2, and then just repeat the process. So I am going to I'm gonna pause the video here while I do this, and then I'll come back when all of this is done. All right, so I went ahead and I did the first 3 pages. So about what, 300 or so records. Let me scroll down here to confirm. Yeah, about 300 or so symbols. And again, I don't need columns B through K. I know they list like the price and so forth, but I'll just delete that. So cool. So now once I have that, I will save as a CSV, and I'll just use today's date, and then I'll say yes, that's fine. So cool. So once I have that, I'll go back to my Python program here. And as you can see, I've already installed Python, like I told you before, and I've updated pip. And then I had to go through and I did have to install some packages. I think I installed pandas and some other stuff. But if I kind of give you a brief walkthrough of this code. So these symbols here are what I originally had. I think there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about 11 symbols, 11 stock symbols, companies that I was curious at. And I want to expand this out. I want to go from 11 to 300 or so. So I want to add on to this. But at the same time, I do want it to, if there is a duplicate, let's say that TAT is already in this list, I kind of want, this Python to, recognize that and to not necessarily, create another TAT, but just to recognize that, hey, I already have TT here, so I don't need to add on to this list. So hopefully at the end of this, I'll have a new stock list in this format here as separated with commas and in quotations. I'll have a new stock list that I can then import into my trading bot to have it iterate through. So to do this, this is my original stock list. I'll fast forward over here. I then created a variable, called it file name, and for this variable I will go ahead and have it pull in that CSV file that I just created, and I'm not including any direct file path to this because this Python program is in the same folder structure as the CSV, so it's automatically going to find it. Now if you had your Python program in a different folder, or if you had the CSV in a different folder, you would need to give it the full path name so that it could find it. But for this instance, I typically leave all my project files in one folder. Alright, so now with that, I'm going to use this code here to open up file name, to open up that CSV, and then if you notice, each of these symbols is in, as far as Excel is concerned, it's in a new cell. And for as far as Python is concerned, it's going to consider each new cell as a new line. So I'm basically telling Python, okay, take this CSV and then iterate through each line, and then I created a new list here. It's called stock list to date. That's completely empty. And what I'm telling Python to do is for every item for every line that it reads data, that it sees data, take that data and append it to this new stock list date. So it's gonna go through here and then just grab all these symbols and put them all into this list, this new list that I created in this kind of format, with the quotes and the commas. Once it's done doing that, what I'm going to tell it to do is I'm going to tell Python, okay, take that first row, which basically is just a heading, it's just a header row that lists the word symbol. Take that. That's going to be in the with the, I think, 0 index. Take that and then just remove it. Just disregard that. So we'll basically, once it does that, all I'll be left with is just that 300 or so list of symbols, and then I tell Python to print it. So I'm going to let this run, but before I do, I want it to sleep for a few minutes so you guys can see the output of it and what it did. All right, let me go ahead and run this, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I will press Control B to build it. Looks like we got an error. I got an error. I got an error. Oh, here we go. Blah 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 blah. File name. Did I name it correctly? 12/25/2020. Make sure I named it correctly. 12/25/2020. It's a CSV. Correct. That looks good. So what don't you like? You do not like dumb. Sorry. So there's a dash in here. Always gotta review your code. All right, Control Save, Control B. Here we go. Perfect. So as you can see, went ahead and it's sleeping now. That's why you see it pause. So I went ahead, created that stock list, added all these symbols, all 300 of them, to that stock list. Removed the symbol, the first symbol row, and outputted it. So I mean, that is Python automation at work. I love it. All right, so now that we have this, let's see if we can keep going with the code to see what we want it to do next. All right, so as we move down this code here, you're gonna see that I created we'll just scroll down. All right. You're gonna see that I created a new function, and I named it just a list_diff. What this function is gonna do, it's passing in the stock list to date, the one that we just created, and it's gonna pass in my original stock list, the one all the way here at the top, with the first 11 stock symbols. So what it's going to do is it's going to pass in those two, and it is going to find the difference between the two lists. So it is going to subtract, if I can follow this correctly, my first stock list to date. It's going to subtract the original stock list from that and return another list that will show what the differences of them are. Meaning, if there are symbols, if there are stock symbols that are in the first list, my original stock list, that are not in the stock list to date, it'll find those. Or if there are stock symbols that are in my stock list to date but that are not in my original stock list, it'll find those, and it will make a list out of those. All right, so what I did here was I created a temporary list, called it temporary list one, TMP list 1. It is empty. And then I created another list that's going to be new stock list symbol, and it is also set to empty. So on temp list 1, TMP list 1, I am going to run that function, pass in those two stock lists to date and my original stock list, and whatever differences that we find, it's going to assign those stock symbols to temp list 1, TMP list 1, and then I want it to print. So it's going to print those differences. It's going to tell me the length of my original stock list. So this line right here should return 11, because that I originally had 11 stocks, my stock list. It will then return the how many stocks are in my inside that 300 or so that I pulled out of Guru Focus, the Guru Focus website. And then it will return how many stock symbols are inside this TMP list. And what it will do is it will add my original stock list. It will add the TMP list 1 to my original stock list. So basically it's going to take everything that is different between the two. It's going to go ahead and add those to my original stock list and create a new stock list symbol, that will it will then print out the length of it, and then we'll print out that new stock list, and then it will sleep. So I hope you guys kind of follow a little bit about how that is. I know it might have gotten a little bit complex, but that's why I try to do the best I can in explaining it step by step. So now I think we're still paused, right? You're still paused. So now what I'll do is I will remove this sleep, and I'll just let it sleep for 10 seconds instead of 600, which 600 about 10 minutes. Yeah, so we'll just let it sleep for 10 seconds so that it goes through this part. It'll go through that it'll go through this part, and then it'll go through this part, and then we'll let it sleep for 10 minutes so we can see what it outputs. Alright, so I'll control save and then control B to build it. So there it is, it's running through. It's going to wait 10 seconds, and then we should get some more output. Perfect. Awesome. Alright, so as you can see, it ran through that first part there. So this part here is our stock list to date, and then this part here is going to be everything that it found. This is going to be our temp list 1. So this is going to be everything that it found that is that either was not in the stock list to date or was not in my original stock list. So it's going to find the different. These are all the differences that it found. And then it went ahead and printed the length of my original stock list, which is 11 here, like I said before. And then it's going to print how many symbols are in the stock list to date, which is 300, which is correct. And then it's going to print the difference. The TMP list 1, it found 292 differences. Cool. So then it's going to add that 292 plus the 11, which is going to give us 303 stock symbols to work with. And then once it prints that part out, then the next part is it's going to print all 303 stock symbols, which is what we have here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That just saved, I don't know about you, but that just saved me hours of work if I were to have to do this manually, instead of have it automated using Python. Alrighty, so believe that is it. Yeah, I think now it just is about to just go into the actual trading bot and start iterating through all of my symbols and doing some in-depth research on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it made sense for you. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.